Arsenal are 6 points clear and the title is there for the taking. If you have been following Arsenal this season, you already know this team has put us through so much. The nerves, the near misses, the nights where it felt like everything was falling apart. But on Saturday, something shifted, something clicked. And after what Mikel Arteta's men did to Fulham at the Emirates Stadium, it is very hard not to believe that this could finally be the year. Arsenal beat Fulham 3-0. Victor Gyokeres scored twice. Bukayo Saka came back from injury and looked like he had never been away. And by the final whistle, Arsenal had moved 6 points clear of Manchester City at the top of the Premier League table. 6 points with only 3 games left to play. So let us sit down, go through everything that happened, talk about what it means, and ask the big question that every Arsenal fan is thinking right now. Is this finally our year? How it all started at the Emirates. Before we get into the goals and the details, let us just take a moment to think about the atmosphere going into this game. Arsenal were coming off a 1-1 draw against Atletico Madrid in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. That is a big result on its own. But in the league, the pressure had been building for weeks. A week earlier against Newcastle, Arsenal had opened the scoring in the 9th minute and then completely lost their nerve. The composure disappeared, the anxiety crept in, it was painful to watch. So going into the Fulham game, the question on every fan's mind was simple: can this team hold it together? Can they play with freedom and not let the pressure swallow them whole? The answer came within 9 minutes, and the answer was yes. Victor Gyokeres is the real deal. Can we just take a moment to appreciate Victor Gyokeres? Because this man has been absolutely brilliant since joining Arsenal. His first goal on Saturday came in the 9th minute and it was a beautiful team goal. Arsenal had a short free kick that looked like it was going nowhere. But then Miles Lewis-Skelly played it to Saka and Saka did what Saka does. He cut back on his left foot, left Raul Jimenez sitting on the Emirates turf and slid a perfect pass across the 6-yard box. Gyokeres was there. He could not miss 1-0. But here is the thing about Gyokeres. He is not just a poacher. He is a proper footballer. His second goal showed that clearly. Leandro Trossard was given so much space down the left side that you had to wonder what Fulham were doing. He raced forward with nobody near him and crossed into the box. Gyokeres got his head on it and directed it back across the goalkeeper and into the net. 3-0, his brace was complete. Between those 2 goals, Saka had also scored to make it 2-0. We will get to that in a moment. But the point is that Gyokeres now has goals that matter, goals that come at big moments, and goals that show real quality. Arsenal fans have found their striker. Have you been impressed by Gyokeres since he arrived at Arsenal? Drop your thoughts below because this man deserves all the credit. Saka is back and Arsenal look like a different team. You cannot overstate how important Bukayo Saka is to this Arsenal team. When he was injured after the Carabao Cup final loss to Manchester City on March 22nd, something went out of Arsenal's attacking play. The creativity dropped. The penetration on the right side disappeared. The team looked nervous and unsure. He came back as a substitute in 2 games before this one, but Saturday was his first start since the injury. And from the moment he stepped onto the pitch, you could feel the difference. His assist for the first goal showed his quality, but his own goal in the 40th minute showed his confidence. Gyokeres received the ball in the right-hand channel and played a brilliant pass through 2 Fulham defenders to find Saka in a dangerous position. Saka did not hesitate. He saw Bernd Leno at his near post and finished right through him. 2-0, clean, confident, classic Saka. Think about this. Saka was only playing because he was back from an Achilles injury. Achilles injuries are serious. They take a long time to recover from. They can knock a player's confidence and their sharpness, and yet Saka looked like he had never missed a game. He was sharp, creative, direct and decisive. Arteta took him off at half-time to protect him for the Champions League second leg against Atletico Madrid on Tuesday. That is smart management. That is the kind of decision that shows a manager who trusts his squad and knows when to rest his key players. But the message was sent: Saka is back. And Arsenal with Saka are a very different team to Arsenal without him. Fulham had no answer. Let us give some credit to Fulham here as well, because they are not a bad side. They have players who can hurt you on the break. Emile Smith-Rowe, who came through Arsenal's academy before leaving the club, was one of those players on Saturday. He hit the side netting late in the game and caused some nerves for Arsenal fans. David Raya also had to make a good save from Timothy Castani, but honestly, for most of the game, Fulham were prisoners in their own half. Arsenal played with such control, such purpose and such quality that the visitors had very little to offer going forward. The Gunners were just too good. Ricardo Calafiori almost had a goal of his own in the first half, but VAR ruled it out for offside. In the second half, a header from Calafiori hit the crossbar after a corner from Noni Madueke. So even the players you would not normally expect to score were getting into dangerous positions. The fact that Arsenal did not score a fourth goal was almost unfortunate. They had the chances. Gyokeres nearly got his hat-trick, but Leno made a fine save. But 3 goals, a clean sheet, and 6 points of breathing room at the top of the table is more than enough. What does this mean for the title race? Here is where things get really interesting. Let us look at the numbers together. Arsenal are 6 points clear of Manchester City. Arsenal also have a goal difference that is 4 goals better than City's, but here is the catch. Arsenal have played 2 more games than City, so City have 2 games in hand. This means City could in theory close the gap, but look at what City have to do. They face Everton away at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, then they host Brentford at home. These are not easy games. Everton are fighting for their lives near the bottom of the table. Brentford have had a strong season and are never easy to beat. Arsenal, meanwhile, have 3 games left. Against West Ham, who are in serious relegation trouble, against Burnley, and against Crystal Palace. West Ham is the one that will make Arsenal fans nervous. Relegation-threatened teams are unpredictable. They fight for every point because their lives in the division depend on it. Arsenal will need to be focused and professional. But if Arsenal win their remaining games, Manchester City cannot catch them. That is the simple truth. The title is in Arsenal's hands. When was the last time Arsenal had the title in their own hands with 3 games to go? Honestly, it has been a long time. And it is important not to waste this chance. The Wenger years and why this title would mean so much. Arsenal's last league title came in 2004. That is 22 years ago. Many Arsenal fans were children back then. Some of the current Arsenal players were barely born. The club has been waiting a very long time for this. Arsene Wenger, the man who built Arsenal into a Premier League superpower, has been watching this season closely. Wenger managed Arsenal for 22 years and his influence on the club is still felt today. The way Arsenal play, the values they hold, the culture of developing young players, all of that has roots in what Wenger built. This season, as Arsenal have pushed for the title, Wenger has been vocal in his support. He has spoken about his belief in this squad, his support for Arteta's work, and his feeling that this team has the quality and the mentality to go all the way. And when you watch a performance like the one against Fulham, it is easy to understand why. This Arsenal team does not just play good football, they play brave football, they take risks. They create chances, they score goals, they have a style that would make any former manager proud. Winning the title this season would not just be a victory for Arteta and the current squad. It would be a statement that Arsenal as a club, the vision, the work, the patience has paid off. It would complete something that has been building for years. Does this team remind you of any of Wenger's great Arsenal sides? There are definitely some similarities in the way they play. Quick, technical, creative football with real attacking quality. The Champions League dream is still alive. Here is the other incredible thing about this Arsenal team. They are not just fighting for the Premier League title, they are also in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Their first leg against Atletico Madrid ended 1-1. That means the tie is very much alive. Arsenal have the second leg at the Emirates on Tuesday, just a few days after the Fulham win. They will need to be sharp, focused and clinical. Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone are one of the hardest teams in the world to beat. They are organised, physical and very experienced in European football. They know how to defend a result and how to make life difficult for the opposition. But Arsenal have shown this season that they can compete with anybody. The way they played in the first half against Fulham was some of the best football they have produced all season. If they can bring that performance to Tuesday night, anything is possible. Can you imagine Arsenal winning both the Premier League title and reaching the Champions League final in the same season? It feels almost too good to believe, but right now with this squad, with this form, it does not feel impossible. Which matters more to you as an Arsenal fan, the Premier League title or a Champions League final? This is one of those beautiful debates that only comes up when a club is doing really well. Arteta deserves so much credit. Let us talk about Mikel Arteta for a moment because he does not always get the credit he deserves. When Arteta took over at Arsenal, the club was in a difficult place. They were not winning trophies. They were not in the top 4 consistently. Confidence was low. The squad needed rebuilding. Arteta has changed all of that. He has brought in players who fit his style of play. He has created a culture of hard work and togetherness. He has developed young players and turned them into key contributors. He has also made big decisions that have sometimes been questioned at the time but have turned out to be right. Resting Saka at half-time against Fulham is a perfect example. Some fans might have wanted Saka to stay on the pitch and keep influencing the game, but Arteta had the bigger picture in mind. The Champions League second leg on Tuesday is just as important. Why risk Saka getting tired or picking up another knock when the game was already won? That kind of thinking is what separates good managers from great ones. Arteta sees the whole picture. He also got to rest Declan Rice and Gyökeres in the second half, which is a luxury he might not have expected before the game started. Having the confidence to make those changes when you are 3 goals up shows real clarity of thought. Arteta has been criticised in the past for being too cautious, for not going for it enough in big moments. But this season, this Arsenal team has been anything but cautious. They have been brave, direct, and full of goals. The key players who have made this possible, every title challenge needs key players who step up when it matters. Arsenal have several. Bukayo Saka is obviously the first name on that list. His creativity, his work rate, his ability to score and assist in equal measure make him one of the best players in the Premier League. When he is fit and on form, Arsenal are a different team. Victor Gyokeres has been a revelation. His goal record since joining the club has been exceptional. He offers something that Arsenal have been missing for years, which is a proper centre-forward who scores goals regularly and holds the ball up well. Leandro Trossard has been one of the unsung heroes of this season. He contributes regularly in attack, and his assist for Gyokeres' second goal on Saturday was simple but effective. He just keeps quietly doing his job. Martin Odegaard, the club captain, has been urging his team to enjoy this moment. That kind of leadership from a captain is so important when the pressure is on. Odegaard knows that this team has worked hard to be in this position, and he wants them to play with freedom and confidence rather than being overwhelmed by the weight of expectations. Declan Rice in midfield has given Arsenal a real engine. He wins the ball, drives forward and gives the team a foundation to build from. Without him, Arsenal's midfield would look very different. And then there is the defence, with David Raya in goal and Riccardo Calafiori among the defenders. Raya made a good save late on against Fulham. Calafiori was unlucky not to score, but was solid and composed throughout. Who is your favourite Arsenal player this season? It is a tough question because there are so many who deserve recognition. The emotional weight of this season, you have to understand what this season has meant emotionally for Arsenal fans. The club has been so close in recent years. There have been moments where it felt like the title was within reach, only for things to fall apart. The anxiety has been real, and this season has had its own nervous moments. Arsenal had a difficult spell earlier in the year. They lost to Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. They had some shaky performances at the Emirates where the home crowd could feel the tension in the stands. There was that painful game against Newcastle where they scored early and then froze. But the Fulham performance was different. The shackles were off. The team played with freedom. The Emirates was rocking. 3 goals in the first half, clean sheet, dominant performance. This was Arsenal at their best. Arteta said before the game that his team should enjoy the run-in. Odegaard echoed those words, and on Saturday you could see a team that was doing exactly that, enjoying their football, playing without fear. That mental shift is often the difference between a team that wins the title and a team that lets it slip. Arsenal have been here before and stumbled. This time they look ready. 3 games left and a nation watching. Let us be clear about what Arsenal need to do. 3 games, West Ham at home, Burnley away, Crystal Palace away or at home, depending on the schedule. West Ham will be the hardest. They are in a relegation fight and will bring everything they have. The Emirates crowd will be nervous. It will not be a free-flowing game. Arsenal will need to be patient, professional and clinical. They cannot afford to let anxiety take over. If Arsenal get through West Ham and take 3 points, the pressure shifts entirely to Manchester City. City will know that Arsenal are now just 2 wins away from being champions. City will need to win both of their remaining games just to stay in the race. And if Arsenal win all 3 remaining games, nothing City do matters. Arsenal will be champions. Is there any world where Arsenal do not win the title from this position? Honestly, it is hard to see, but football has surprised us before. Arsenal fans know better than anyone that the table can change quickly. Nothing is guaranteed until the final whistle of the final game. That is why the focus has to be on West Ham first. 1 game at a time, 1 performance at a time. Take nothing for granted. What happens next? The next few weeks are going to be the most exciting in Arsenal's recent history. Here is what is coming. Tuesday brings the Champions League second leg against Atletico Madrid. This is a massive game. Arsenal need to progress to the final to complete what would be an historic season. A performance similar to what they showed against Fulham would be enough to scare any European side. Then the league run-in begins in earnest. West Ham, Burnley, Crystal Palace. 3 opportunities to make history. There is also the growing sense around North London that something special is happening. The city can feel it, the fans can feel it, the players can feel it. And if Arsenal lift that Premier League trophy this season, it will not just be a football result, it will be the end of a 22-year wait. It will be confirmation that the project Arteta has been building is one of the great rebuilds in Premier League history. It will be a moment that fans, young and old, will remember for the rest of their lives. Final thoughts for the Olivia Sports Arsenal community. To everyone here in the Olivia Sports Arsenal community, this is your moment. This is the moment you have been waiting for, discussing, debating, hoping and praying for. Arsenal are 6 points clear with 3 games to go. They have their best players back. They have a manager who believes in them. They have a squad deep enough to cope with the Champions League and the Premier League at the same time. They have the momentum. The hardest part is watching. The hardest part is managing the emotions as each game comes and goes. But remember what Odegaard said, enjoy it. This is a rare thing, a title challenge in the final weeks of the season. An unbeaten run that has changed the whole picture, a team that has grown up in front of our eyes. Arsenal have not won the league since 2004. That is a long time to wait. But every wait makes the celebration sweeter. Every difficult year makes the good ones more meaningful. So keep supporting, keep believing, keep watching every game with that mix of excitement and nervousness that only football fans truly understand. This is Arsenal's time. The title is there for the taking. Do not let it go. What do you think? Can Arsenal hold on and win their first Premier League title in 22 years? Let us hear your thoughts in the comments. This is your community and this conversation belongs to all of us.